Hey guys, welcome back to the channel if you guys been following along. Um, if this is first time here, check out my channel if you like motorcycle stuff, motorcycle content. Um, my videos are more repair and fixing stuff. Um, or customizing my bike here to the 09 Softail Deluxe. Check it out if you want to see more about this bike, what I've done to it, handlebars, front and rear lights, wheels, some trim here and there. But in today's video, I'm be discussing and talking about and fixing, basically replacing your stator. So essentially, let me come out. If I come on this side, your stator will be located right here. Hopefully, it's not too dark. You can see it, but right here is your stator. Is where your stator is located. And like a car, or a truck, whatever it may be, alternator. Stator is basically an alternator. It charges up your battery, charges it up an AC current, and your rectifier over here. If I move around, this rectifier right here is essentially what converges the AC current from the stator to there, and DC current to your battery, and charges up your battery and does all that good stuff, right? So since I already know what's going on and what needs to be fixed, essentially, I changed my stator back in February. I totally forgot to make a video about that. I apologize, but hey, now I have another opportunity to make that video up, But essentially, the cable that comes out through here to the rectifier is basically where the boot's at. It's the wire exposed from one of the connectors, so I'm guessing kind of sorted itself out. So I'm going to be replacing the whole stator and also throwing in a new rectifier because one of the connectors is burnt. And again, once I get to all of this, I will explain about what's going on and what went wrong within my bike. And also with this video, as I repair it, I'm going to do today's video, and like on my other videos, I go off base of book. This is the manual for my book. I definitely recommend this in everyone's toolbox. You get very, very, very far with this book. It tells you everything you need to know how to fix stuff, and if you feel confident enough and mechanically inclined, good to go, homie. So I recommend this again, everyone. And today's video will be going off of this book and going from there. Also, I'm not no expert mechanic. I'm not certified in no way. I just go off based off what I know. I'm just a guy working out of my shed, fixing my bike. So if you could pick up a thing or two from my video, I'd be happy with that, and hopefully it works out for you too. And yeah, so let's get into this video. And I'm gonna start out by removing this seat. By the way, this is a Saddleman, I think like LS Solo seat. I forgot exactly what it's called, but I love this seat. And I've had it for almost basically a year now. Guys have to, I'm gonna make a video about this soon. Once I get this bike up and running and fixed, I'm gonna talk about my seat and discuss and review it. But essentially, I'm gonna take off my seat today, right now. I'm gonna take my seat off and remove the battery, and see you in a bit. Alright guys, so now I have now removed the battery from the bike. This step isn't needed to remove the battery, but I'm removing the battery. You probably don't have to in your case, but I'm doing it because I'm gonna be working on my bike little by little. It's gonna take, I'm not gonna do it all in one go. Do it little by little and I fix this. So it's gonna take a while, and it's cold outside. It's winter right now, so I just hooked it up to the battery tender. I got this going on, so I'm doing this meanwhile I work on it. And also because it wasn't charging properly, so I want to keep it nice and charged, and hooked it up and leave it there until I'm good to go. Alright, now that I have the bike up on the lift, or my jack over here, so next thing what I'll be doing is draining out my primary fluid. And essentially, you do this on the stand, the kickstand, or in the lift. In my case, I put it on the lift because my bike sits a little lower on the rear. We got a lowering kit. I'm not exactly sure how much of lower it is, but it's lowered a bit in the back. And so it makes it harder for me to get to the drain plug. So regardless, I have to put on the lift. And you know, your model you may be able to pull it off on a Jiffy stand, you know, but in my case I won't be able to. So essentially your drain plug for your primary fluid will be on this side, right there, be right here. This will be your drain plug. And man, you can check it out here, man. Be scraping. Uh-oh, that's probably not good, right? So I'm gonna be draining that out right now. And you know, you can do it when it's hot, when it's warm. People say it's better to do that. In my case, it doesn't really matter because I'm pulling off the whole primary cover, everything apart, so it doesn't really matter. So it doesn't really matter to me if it's hot or cold. If anything, when it's warm or hot, you know, it takes less time to drain it out. Whereas cold, you know, it takes longer, but I'm not in a rush. So here goes. Drain plug removed. You want to inspect your O-ring, see if it's still in good condition. You know, it's up to you if you want to replace the O-ring back when you're installing it. It's up to you if you want to reuse your O-ring. It's, you know, that could work sometimes too. It's all up to your decision if you want to replace it or keep the same if it's still in good condition. But anyways, you want to clean off your threads. And also, you're going to be looking up here. There's a little nipple. I don't know if you could see it there. But essentially, that little nipple right there is a magnet. All this is excessive, you know, not excessive, I should say, but metal. Metal from your, you know, metal shavings from, you know, wherever it could be from. This, like, for example, this is from your primary, so it would be from the chain, gears, whatever. And your oil drain plug will also be the similar plug like this too. Basically, you want to look at this. It's normal to have some of this going on, some of this, some buildup. It's normal to have some. If you have a whole lot or like big chunks of it, then, you know, it could have a serious problem. All right, guys. So now that I have the oil drained, and while the oil was draining, I also removed the derby cover as oil was draining. So anyways, the next thing I'm gonna be doing is removing the floorboard and the shifters and the shift linkages. I'm only gonna be removing these linkages, these shifters, and possibly just remove this linkage right here. I'm probably gonna leave the whole thing there because I don't really need to take the whole thing off from over there. But anyways, I'm removing this and this, and see you in a bit. Alright, now that I have removed the floorboard, I'm going to be removing the primary cover now, the whole cover. Keep in mind, guys, that these bolts are pretty thin, so you want to be really careful with them and not snap them inside the housing. It won't be a fun story, guys. So next thing we're moving is the whole primary cover. Alright, guys, I have now removed the primary cover. Another thing I want to mention is your gasket. My gasket, you know, it's still in good condition. It's not ripped, not torn, or anything or any wear. Again, you know, this is not even a year old gasket. The gasket part, I will say, you know, I'll leave it up to you guys. If you guys want to replace the gasket or keep the same one, it's totally up to you. You know, of course, the service manual and mechanics and everything they're gonna say recommend, you know, getting a new gasket. I'm more likely gonna keep mine just because, you know, it's still in good condition, so I'm gonna reuse it again. And again, you guys, it's totally up to you guys if you guys are gonna want to put a new gasket in or not. So once you remove your primary cover, you're gonna be seeing your primary drive, right? So this is basically, you know, from your engine to your transmission, basically. So one thing that you hear is also to inspect your chain. Make sure, you know, it's in good condition. Every model, every year, it's going to be different as far as slack goes. It's going to be different, you know, like the chain tensioner. It's going to be different. This is going to be your clutch. And what you will notice is that once you take this the whole primary cover, or, you know, once you changing out your primary oil, you will notice that that it has a certain smell. It smells it smells pretty bad, and I believe it's from your clutch, from all the, you know, the normal wear from, you know, disengaging your clutch. Alright, guys, so next up I'm gonna be doing is removing the slack from the clutch cable. you know, we're gonna remove all the slack from here. I'll show you that in a bit. And once you remove all the slack, you're gonna be removing your clutch whole assembly, which essentially is this lock nut and this adjuster and the snap ring in place. So I'll see you in a bit right now once I remove all the slack. Alright guys, so the next step I'm gonna be doing is removing your clutch assembly. What you want to do is remove this adjuster nut. Remove it while keeping this adjuster, there's Allen slot right here, just keep it in place while you remove this. As you can tell, I have it loose already. Another thing too is remove the snap ring here, right here in place. Once you remove that, you're gonna move this whole assembly out. Alright guys, so now that you guys have your if you're at the step already for the chain tensioner, you want to inspect this this face right here, this shoe. I'm gonna look at it, see the wear on it, make sure there's not too much of a wear. Mine shows somewhat of a normal wear, not that bad. Again, if you see yours is worse or it's really bad, then you know, of course, replace it, get a new one. So I'm not exactly sure on these tensioners. You know, there's Harley has quite a few different types of tensioners. Some of them you have to go in and adjust them every so often, or some of them call it like the automatic adjustments. I'm not 100% sure. I'll be honest with you guys, my knowledge on the whole shoe tensioners, I'm not that much of an expert on those, but I know all I know is about from the earlier Harley models. Like the older bikes, they do have you know, the manual tensioners where I have to go in every so often and readjust them and do all that stuff. This one, I'll be honest with you guys, I don't really do any kind of sort of adjustments to this shoe. I just, you know, I just have it in there. One thing I'll know is keep in mind of these spacers. You want to make sure you don't lose them and put them in the same way they go, which this little groove, make sure it faces inside the shoe like this, and the flat side towards your primary cover. Alright guys, so the next step I'm gonna be doing, now that I have, you know, the chain tensioner out and everything, so look like this. Next thing I'm gonna be doing is pulling off the clutch assembly as well as your compensator. The manual says to use this Jim's tool, right, to like kind of like lock the gears in place, but I kind of created something different. I basically cut this block of wood that I had just laying around the yard. I'm gonna give this a try. If this works, it works, and I'll let you guys know if it works or not. But essentially, I'm gonna be putting this piece of this block of wood in the place of this Jim's tool. So I'm thinking about locking it in here somehow, and if it works, guys, I'll let you know about it. And I'm not exactly sure how long this is, but I'll be sure to measure it and let you guys know if you guys would want to use this little trick. It's up to you guys. If you guys want to do it, you know, if you guys feel comfortable using this, then go for it. I'm gonna be using this though, but I'll let you know right now in a bit. Alright guys, so I'm back. This piece of wood did indeed help. Just remember, for your clutch pack, it is right hand threaded, so go the opposite way when you're like trying to move this nut. It's a big nut right here. I'm using a 1 3/16 inch socket. Alright guys, so as the last, you know, clip, I still have it on there just to, you know, keep everything in place, but it is already loose. So I adjusted the block of wood and then on the compensating socket, and look, sure enough, it worked out for me. Alright guys, I have now removed the compensating bolt. Keep in mind the bolt also connected to this piece right here. And also remove the nut on the clutch packet. What I want to tell you guys about this block of wood, it helped me and hopefully helps you if you do decide to do this this little trick. This one, sorry about that, weighs about 8.5, around ish. You could always, you know, tantearle, you know, the measurements, tailor it to, you know, your fittings or whatever you want to do with it. But this little trick, you know, worked for me and might work for you. Hopefully it does. And so I'm gonna be using the same piece of block to reinstall it, and so you will be seeing this later in the video. At the end, I'll tell you, know, if this is you know, you can decide whether this is a good trick to have or to do, or you rather get the gym's tool. So yeah, next thing I'll be doing now is now with everything removed, you know, what's holding them in place, I'm essentially gonna pull this whole primary chain off of the bike right now and set it up here on my my workbench right here, and I'm gonna lay it out right here and inspect the teeth, inspect everything still good to go, and from there we'll continue on with the project. Alright guys, so I pulled off the whole primary chain drive right here, right behind me. It turns out that we're gonna have to do it the long way. So as you know, I move everything here. I try removing this rotor here from the stator, because the stator literally right here, and it seems like this groove, hopefully the camera captures it right here, I don't know if you can see it. There's a little groove here, right here, that it's like grooved in here, that basically when you try to pull out the rotor, it essentially hits there and you can't really like pull it out. So because of that, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to do it the long way, which is you know, basically removing this your ignition stuff, your just, I'm not sure what we would call this, but, and you know, for cars probably like a distributor. I don't know if it's the same thing for motorcycles, but you know, your whole spark plug assembly has to be out. Also, we're gonna have to be moving the oil, your whole oil tank, pull off some stuff from the back here, this plastic piece as well. So se va a hacer un desmadre medio, you know. Alright, so I have now raised the bike up a little higher now, so I can have more space and have better access to my drain plug right here. To be right, where's it at? Right there. This will be your drain plug, and basically I'm gonna drain all the oil out. Alright guys, so once you got your oil drain plug, you want to inspect it, make sure the O-ring's still good if you decide to use it. Check your magnet again. Same thing as the other drain plug from the primary, is also gonna be the same stuff. Inspect it, O-ring if you're gonna be reusing it, and if not, you can always put a new one in. It's up to you, your decision, and step it back on, and be good to go. Alright, so the oil is still draining. See how thin it is. I'm not worried about the oil. Oil could take all day, and I'm still gonna be working stuff around there. I'm not in a hurry. So essentially, I removed this whole plate right here that covers up, you know, your whole module right here for your ignition stuff. Essentially, to take this off, there's gonna be a tiny bolt underneath. You're gonna want to take the bolt out and essentially just pop this whole cover out. Of course, you know, before you do that, you know, you want to disconnect your ignition coils, take them out, and disconnect their this little piece right here, this connectors, little chufes. You wanna unplug them, and essentially I'm gonna keep this module connected to this bracket here, which later on I'm gonna be removing when I remove the whole oil tank, which is also, you know, it has to do with some bolts up here. Remove this whole plastic battery housing, and also remove some stuff from back here. To be a little finicky, you see the bolt right here is also going to be removed. I don't know if you can see it. Remove all of that in order to get to some bolts are in back here to remove this whole plating. All right, so the next thing I did was remove this whole bracket here. And to do that, you need to remove the oxygen sensor, so that the plate could come out, you know, this way, and you know, I have it here hanging. And to do that, you're gonna have to come on this side, disconnect the bolts here. There's like two bolts here, and this bracket here as well. Keep in mind the same way it goes, and also be a bolt going into the frame right there. And also, sorry about that. And also, there's gonna be a little bolt right here, and you just take that out, and it's gonna come out like that easily, and just fish it out. Alright guys, hopefully you guys can see it. My flashlight isn't that too dim. I'm gonna be removing this bolt right here where I have my ratchet connected. That bolt will basically you'll be able to remove this whole plastic piece right here, which will then reveal like 2 or 3 extra bolts connected into the oil tank. And you'll see right now in a bit on how más o menos it looks like. Alright guys, so now with this whole plastic piece off, I put the bolt back just so I won't lose it. There's also gonna be some bolts back here that you're gonna want to be looking at. Hopefully it's not too dark for you guys. Let me grab my flashlight real quick. So I can have those 2 bolts right there take off. As you can see, I'm starting to loosen them already, as well as the 2 big bolts up there. I believe they're 1/2 inch, but we'll find out the sizing. And once you remove all that, the oil pan should be loose, somewhat loose. And from there, you're gonna go on the other side and disconnect the oil lines, pretty much. Alright guys, so when removing this plastic pieces out of the way, you remove your fuse box and expose these 2 bolts. You want to remove those also when removing these all plastic pieces around your oil tank. Alright guys, so the next thing you want to do is remove all the oil lines from underneath. You can see you can move one right here, another one right there. And essentially with these oil lines, what you want to do is pull this little cover back, and you're going to see these little plastic clips. Basically what you want to do is pinch them and pull them all the way out until they come out. You know, you're going to need 2 hands for this, and like move it around. May not move the exhaust. I'm going to try not to remove the exhaust, but if I have to then I will. But it looks like it's in the way of the oil line, so I may have to remove the exhaust right now. Alright guys, so as you can see, it looks different. So remember, there's a nut here that connects it to your starter. You also want to disconnect that, and this little connector here that's from your O2 sensor. So once you got all that, once you unplug the oil lines, you connect them, you disconnect them, and you move to the side, and then from there it should pop out. Now I removed my exhaust. You may not have to remove your exhaust to remove the oil tank, but if you do, then it's a different process. But essentially straightforward, right? The ones that are connected to the head, you got some nuts on there. You may have bracket here or here or both. Also want to move that. So yeah guys, so now I'm gonna continue on, which the next step will be is remove the starter. You got 2 bolts right here. They're gonna remove, and once you remove that starter, you should have no more clearances. You can leave it on if you want. I'm just gonna disconnect it just so it can be less bulky. Alright guys, so now I have removed the starter from here. As I said, when I inspect this O-ring right here, see if it's still in good condition. And now that you're free from anything else, keep in mind these dowels. Try not to lose them, as they are important to line up your starter. Alright guys, so now I have removed the bolts. Now I'm going to be able to pull this whole cover back towards me, and there should be no restrictions at all. Again, if they are, make sure there's nothing else hanging on. Remember, it doesn't feel right, it probably isn't right. And I'll see you guys in a bit. Alright guys, so now that I have removed the whole plate, you'll be able to remove your rotor here. You want to inspect it, inspect the magnets, make sure they look good, nothing too weird or excessive wear. Just inspect it. Inspect this little teeth here, make sure none are missing or damaged. Check that out. And which here reveals my stator. And put brightness, I guess is the highest one. So here's the stator, and so I replaced it back in February, but still a bit, I mean, I guess black and all the dark stuff around the coils, I guess is normal, right, for oil. But I didn't think it would be this much, like this dark, so soon, but it is in the oil all the time. And so from there guys, you're gonna come over here to your rectifier and disconnect that one. Alright guys, so here's the reason why I'm doing this whole job, is because of this right here. That little piece of metal, I guess the boot kind of is ripped up right there. And if you look inside this plug, hopefully the camera gets it, it's a bit burnt. Not bit, it's hella burnt actually. It looks like it just burnt itself out, like shorted itself or something. And you can just tell right here the plug is like it's like melted all around the circle, all around it compared to the other ones. I don't know if the camera can capture it, but these two are fine, but this one on top is a bit burnt. and here is on the regulator. So if you take a look here, you see the two left coils on this side are silver, you know, they're white, compared to this top one right there. My pinky. But the top one, it's a bit rusted out, not rusted, but like burnt, rusty look to it. So I guess it just burnt itself out, and hopefully this camera can focus in. But you could tell, like, if you look deep in there, you can see how it's a bit burnt compared to the other ones. And on this side, looks fine to me. Nothing looks too burnt or any of that. So remember, guys, this is your regulator rectifier here, and so every time the AC current goes through here from the stator alternator, it comes in here to the rectifier regulator, and it transforms it into DC current out to this side, which is on this plug, and it just routes it to your battery, and you know, all where it needs to be, all that good stuff. And this one, you know, obviously I can't be using it again because it says the plug is burnt, so this is no good no more. But I do have a new one right over here, and I'm gonna be replacing just both parts una vez, you know. I mean, ya que verdad. Yeah, they're both burnt. But anyways, so I'm gonna be removing the stator now, and pretty much once I remove the stator, it's pretty much waiting game for parts now. Going over the stator, I noticed some chunks of metal. Hopefully you can see it in the camera. Right there you can see that coil there, as well as in between here. Hopefully the camera is able to capture it. And as well as right up here, I guess I kind of wiped them down, but you kind of see like the pieces right here, the chunks. And as well as I found this piece right here, if I could get it. Yeah, it's a pretty big chunk of metal, I'd say, right? And so I found this on top of here, on top of the coils, and I was like, man, what could gonna be going on? And looking around, I inspect my clutch packet, and I can get over here real quick. Hopefully again the camera is able to capture it. Get my flashlight. Look, because you can see here the gears are kind of they've been chewed out on this clutch packet. You can see right there at the bottom how they are, and so essentially this project got a little more went a different route. I'm gonna be pulling this clutch basket apart, and I'm gonna start by removing these bolts here, and I'll show you the next clip, or I might make another video about this, about the whole disassembly of it. But I will be including it into this video right here.